Hey there, gamers, and welcome to Critical Damage, Emerson's only video game show. I'm your host, Piper Hall, and I want to thank you for joining us for our first ever live episode. That's right, this season we are changing things up by bringing 3 live episodes chock full of gamer news, discussions, and more. So strap in and let's get started. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but is that necessarily true in the gaming industry? From designs to levels to characters, we often see game companies coming under fire for copying aspects of other games, even if the games they are copying are from their own roster of games. But is this really that big of a deal? People often say that there are no original ideas anymore, so why should we worry if one game is eerily similar to the next? That doesn't make a game inherently bad, does it? Well, today I will be joined by JR and Brando to figure out what exactly the difference is between inspiration and imitation when it comes to video games, and if originality is actually necessary. So thank you guys for joining me.
Happy to be here.
So excited to be here.
And I wanted to ask, what is your definition of like inspiration and imitation? What's the line that draws them?
I am so glad you asked that question. I think it really comes down to intent. Because there's a lot of games that they clearly saw a concept, were like, ooh, that's cool, I want to build something off of that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of games where it's the exact opposite, where they're like, this made a lot of money, I'm going to do that exact same formula, and I want to make a lot of money. Usually they don't make nearly as much money, though, but hey, that's what the industry is.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a weird kind of in-between because for me at least, imitation is when it's so inspired to the point where it's not even recognizably original, right? So you can just tell right from the get-go, okay, yeah, that looks like you guys didn't really come up with that at all. While I feel like inspiration, I mean, every game is inspired. I mean, Dragon Quest, the monsters in there are inspired by Pokemon, even though people don't like to admit that. But I think it's very much a topic of that you can't even recognize it as original anymore when it comes to imitation.
Yeah, I think it's just, honestly, I think it depends on each game, because some games, you know, you might see it as an imitation, but there's things that are being added that kind of merge more on inspiration. Right. I think it honestly just depends on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, for sure.
So, do you think imitation is necessarily bad?
I mean, like JR said, I think when it comes to the intent, it can be bad. Like, you mentioned Power World, or did you mention Power World? I forget.
I mean, Power World is what everyone's
talking
about.
Yeah, I know, that's
right
like
now.
the big topic right now, so I think let's address the elephant in the room.
The Pokemon in the room, or the PAL.
The PAL in the room. Like with Power World, so have you guys played the game?
I have not, but I've heard stories about it.
See, I initially was like a bit hesitant on it because I was like, oh yeah, just, you know, it's Pokemon.
Have you played it?
Yeah, well, no, I want to play it actually. Because apparently, it's kind of a joke and it's also kind of interesting because they combine the different elements, but then again, and this brings me back to answer your question, that I feel like Power World is an example of imitation, and I think that the intent, I wouldn't say is necessarily good, because I feel like it's just a bunch of stolen ideas, not just from Pokemon, but from like Ark, Breath of the Wild. There's like literally locations that are exactly the same as Breath of the Wild in that game.
I guess you could say, though, that they are inspired by these games because there are things that show up in Pal World that are not in a Pokemon game, aka the Pokemon or Pals have guns. Yeah. That's something we do not see in Nintendo games, or at least in Pokemon. So do we think that is enough grounds for it to be inspired and not an imitation?
I think I really have 2 points to say here. The first is I feel like it's very clear what the intent was due to the creator literally saying it's Pokemon with guns, naming it by name what they were taking. Clearly shows they saw that and were like, we want to do that. And then I have something kind of big that I want to bring to the table in terms of my thoughts. I feel like in terms of just when you address this topic, imitation doesn't matter as long as the game doesn't infringe on any actual legal copyright, and if it's fun. Like if people Pal World, if people think it's fun and are enjoying it on a wide scale, and it has enough creativity and the gameplay mechanics were actually thought through to where it is an enjoyable player experience, I think that's justifiable enough for a game to be worthwhile and for this game to be something original.
I think I agree with you there because honestly, we could say that Pokemon kind of has like a monopoly on the monster catching market.
Yeah.
And to have these new games coming in here, even if they're could be considered an imitation, it is a good thing to have this healthy competition between these games.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there are a lot of monster catching games out there. Like there was a game that came out that a lot of people don't talk about, but it's called Temtem, and that one kind of did a similar thing to Power World, not to the same extent because that one I felt was a lot more original monsters, and I feel like with Power World it kind of does, at least in my I'm not. Whoever loves the game, I'm actually interested in playing it because it looks kind of interesting. But there's like monsters in there that you can't even like. I think there's like a Snorlax in there that's just flipped upside down and it's a cow.
Nice.
Like,
Very nice. All right, so do we think genres should reference other games? Basically, Metroidvania. It is a game genre that is based on the games Metroid and Castlevania. Is that, like, should genres be called that? And does that make every game in that genre an imitation?
I don't think so. I mean, that's just how the world and economics and trends work. Something big and new comes along that revolutionizes a space. We're obviously talking about video games. And then other things are introduced that take a spin on that implement these characteristics and these attributes and these gameplay features that the gamers like. The main interest and the main important thing here is that the gamers like these traits.
Yeah.
A big thing, something that I really want to talk about for a second, is Tomb Raider and the fact that they took that huge spin with the last trilogy and they really inspired it by Uncharted because Uncharted was popular and they made these great games. Rise of the Tomb Raider is one of my favorite games of all time. And it has those Uncharted elements mixed with Tomb Raider, which is inspired, and it's so fun and unique and amazing.
I gotta say, I did rage quit those games, though.
Come on.
Uncharted was easier, and,
Yeah,
you know.
they're harder, they're fun.
Yeah, I know, I should go back to it.
I've always wanted to play those games. I've never played both of those
So
games.
amazing.
We'll have to play it later. So here's a big philosophical question for you. Is anything really original? Are there any original ideas anymore? I think it's Mark Twain, we're getting into my English degree here, that said that there are no original ideas.
Well, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I mean, I don't. It's a loaded question because there's no right answer. I feel, but
That's philosophy.
Yeah, it's philosophy for you. But I would say like, I don't think so. I think everything is just inspired, even if it doesn't look like it.
I think you can trace everything back to some other story and some other thing. Everything comes back to, I don't know, the Bible, all these original stories that then are just changed and changed and changed over time. And I think that's true for fiction, that's true for video games. I think it's true for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Allow me to add some philosophy to your philosophy. What is originality? Because I mean, does it have to be completely something brand new? Is there anything completely brand new in the world? We're all made of matter. Matter can't be added or subtracted from the universe. So is there anything completely in the bare sense of the word original?
JR, I already took my philosophy class, my mandatory philosophy class. We don't need to have this again. But yeah, to be honest, everything comes from something. And I think that's something that we need to acknowledge in the video game industry, especially when we're throwing around, like, that's a copycat, that's an imitation. There is so much that is recycled, and it can still be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah.
So do we think, I think we've kind of talked about this, but do we think imitation leads to innovation in video games?
Again, it's about the approach. I mean, if you're coming at it with the intent of putting your own spin on it and wanting to genuinely create something that players will enjoy and want to play because it's original and because you created something fun versus, oh, they like Pokemon, I'm gonna create they like Pokemon, they like guns, I'm gonna create something that's Pokemon and guns, and the players will eat this up. They need to have some respect for the players and know that we are consumers and we want to spend our money on things that we're gonna enjoy playing. We see the internet, we have access to clips and footage of all these games being played, so we know before we even purchase them whether or not we're going to be interested in them. So we have a lot of agency and choice that they need to recognize.
Yeah, and also Power World has kind of shown that. Like that's why it's weird because I feel like Power World does have good intentions. Like they even said that they're going to add more stuff to the game. They want to keep supporting it. It's still in early access, and they're excited that everybody's playing it. And a lot of people have been saying like the reason why they're playing it is because it's Pokemon, but now it's good. Not bashing Pokemon. Hey, I played all the older games. Okay, I was a Pokemon fan.
All right.
I was.
Well, we'll have to discuss our Pokemon Go teams later on. All right, I think it's about time to send it over to Kyung and Elle for our first frame news. Take it away, guys.
All right, coming back in 10 seconds. Ready, camera one. Camera one, you wide shot of the entire thing, and in 3, 2, 1, take talent cue.
Welcome back to Emerson College. Emerson
Camera
trails
4, get a shot of the players coming across the court.
10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point. As
Camera
the
2
team
close upon the person
finishes
shooting.
their timeout. Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away and score this big one.
Camera 1, gonna close the follow them over.
Emerson trails WPI 10 points. 10 seconds left. Emerson trails by 1 point as the team finishes their timeout.
Camera 1, close upon number 33.
Thanks, Joe. With 10 seconds left, Emerson is hoping to pull away.
Follow the ball, follow the ball.
Twenty 2024's games release start off with a bang, with Arrowhead's newest title, Helldivers 2. With an original player base in the low thousands for 2015's Helldivers 1, this entry saw a massive increase to nearly 800,000 players. However, the devs didn't expect the game to be as popular as it is now, and unfortunately didn't install an AFK timer. This led to hundreds of thousands of players being locked out of the game due to servers reaching maximum capacity. Thankfully, the devs made quick work of this issue and have now implemented a timer, letting many more players spread democracy.
In a move that took everyone by surprise, Disney has invested $1.5 billion into game development and publishing company Epic Games. The company says that they will develop a new universe that will offer opportunities to play, watch, and shop. Disney is no stranger to working with Epic Games, as the two companies have collaborated multiple times in Fortnite, bringing skins from Star Wars, crossovers with Marvel, and other events to life. While this is all the information we have on the partnership, it's safe to say we can expect more updates soon. I'm a bit skeptical about it though, especially with the emphasis the companies have put on the shopping aspect. The game should come first, not the monetization.
Microsoft has announced that they will be releasing 4 of their Xbox exclusive games on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch. The 4 games making this console transition were announced to be Hi-Fi Rush, a rhythm-based action game developed by Tango Gameworks, Pentiment, an adventure role-playing game developed by Obsidian Entertainment, Grounded, a survival action adventure game also developed by Obsidian Entertainment, and lastly, Sea of Thieves, a popular online action adventure game developed by Rare. Microsoft sees this as a way to test the waters, and if transporting their exclusive games to other platforms would be a positive or negative business transaction. Presuming that things do go well, Microsoft will be transporting more games in the near future. This could mean more Xbox exclusive franchises can reach a larger audience, which may gain positive traction for Microsoft as a whole. The only thing to do is wait and see where this goes.
Nintendo hosted a partner showcase early last week with plenty of announcements from third-party developers. They announced remasters of the original Star Wars Battlefront games and Epic Mickey are coming to the Switch in a few months. Glimpses were even given at the newest game in the South Park series, Snow Day, and a new Super Monkey Ball game titled Banana Rumble, which will be the first new entry in the series in over a decade. This presentation came soon after rumors of a new Nintendo Switch game system, coined Nintendo Switch 2 by fans. While many were hoping to get a first look at it in the coming months, new rumors have been swirling that the console has been delayed, now getting a 2025 release. Along with the Switch 2, rumors of a virtual reality console have made appearances on the internet. A credible leaker has hinted at the new device being a collaboration with Google and not a Switch accessory. Though nothing has been officially revealed about either system, this news has me praying to the console gods. Nintendo might be back.
In tragic news from just yesterday, Sony Interactive announced layoffs totaling 900 people, a shocking 8% of their staff. In a blog post, outgoing Sony Interactive Entertainment boss Jim Ryan says, "The industry has changed immensely, and we need to future-ready ourselves to set the business up for what lies ahead." He also reassures PlayStation gamers that our plans for reorganizing and streamlining are so that we can continue to deliver the best gaming experiences possible. In an email he sent out to staff yesterday morning, Ryan said tough decisions have become inevitable and that the layoffs affect employees across all SIE regions and several PlayStation studios. Gamers are left wondering, what will the future of Sony look like from now on?
In more Sony news, the company has recently announced that PS5 sales have failed to meet expectations, and it is now in the later stages of its life. The senior VP of Sony, Naomi Matsuoka, has been quoted saying, "We expect the sales of the PS5 will start falling from the next fiscal year." The console released less than 4 years ago and has sold close to 55 million units. But that's not good enough for Sony. Fans are now left to speculate what's next from the gaming giant. A PS5 Pro or the PS5 6. The more expected choice, PS5 Pro, would follow a similar pattern to the PS4 release schedule, as the PS4 Pro was released 3 years ago after the original console. This would reinvigorate interest in the console right before the release of GTA 6 and allow players to experience the game, hypothetically, the best way possible. Though it is logical for the company to follow a pattern that has worked for them in the past, we've seen companies like Nintendo that don't need to release a console every 3 years to stay relevant. Instead of working on new hardware, personally, I think Sony should just prioritize their game library. That's all for us at First Frame. Back to you, Piper.
Maggie, did you print out the scripts?
No, that was your job.
Maggie, oh my god, I do it every week.
No,
I told
but-
you this
but-
is the one
but we
week I
talked
didn't
about
want
this.
responsibility.
Okay, I need to pick my legend.
Oh my god, look, they got us slushies. Brave freeze. Oh my god, we're here.
He's queer.
Now get used to it. Come on, give me my mic. Mic me. Hi, I'm Christian Mudrick,
And I'm Maggie Morlap
and you're watching Real Reactions.
on the Emerson Channel.
Hi, I'm Aaron Kinigsberg, host of EIV's The Dish. Tune in every Friday for your chance to see what kind of bow tie I pulled out of my closet today.
You know when you spend hours in Character Creator because you want your original character, or OC, to be perfect? Or have you ever thought up a character and thought, this would be great for a video game? Well, this week, my fellow writers and I were tasked with coming up with our own original characters inspired by a certain game. Using our incredible art skills, we have brought this character to life. So, in today's variety segment, we'll be guessing what game each of our characters is inspired by. Then, in our second section, we'll be determining if the character is an imitation or inspired. So let's jump into imitation versus inspiration. All right, let's see what we have up first for our characters.
Okay. All right. So you're just gonna look at the picture first, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Ooh.
A dragon?
Okay.
a dragon. The dragon is actually the side piece. We're actually looking in on this guy. He's the OC.
He's like lying on the dragon.
And his name is Z, the Dragon Tamer.
Can I get a zoom in on that?
All right, get a zoom in on that. Can you get a zoom in on that?
They put it on the screen. It's
I don't know where
fine.
to have it on the screen.
No, I
Megan
just
see
need you
it.
to-
You want to?
Thank
You need.
you.
Oh, you need to
Give me
show
a
it.
Oh, personal. Oh, okay. So
Real life zoom in.
Oh, I really wish I hadn't seen that up close.
So I have a question.
Right.
Yeah.
How does Z ride the dragon? They just look like they're just
They're
like.
they look like they're dead on it.
Well, technically, I wasn't trying to draw him riding the dragon. It was just kind of like there.
Yeah.
Maybe he's laying on the dragon's tail. That could be.
Is that?
The dragon's
The tail. The
That's
tail.
a tail?
Yeah, it's a big fat
Yeah,
tail.
Guys,
it's a long.
Guys, I can't draw.
I think it's about time for us to guess, and I'm gonna
Okay.
go way out there and say Pokemon.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Does anyone else have any guesses?
So
I
know
think
this.
that's Ash.
I think that's Dragonite. Like, no, sorry, Charizard.
I know this isn't a video game, but How to Train Your Dragon. That's just what I can't come up with anything
They should
beside
make that a game.
It's either Dragonite or Charizard.
All right,
Monster Hunter.
we gotta know.
Okay.
What game?
Am I allowed to also say my character as well? It's Pokemon. Yeah,
Wow.
it's Pokemon. Okay, so I guess I'll just say this right now. I based it off of N from Pokemon
Okay.
Black and White because I rotated his name 90 degrees.
Very clever.
Creativity at its
smart.
finest.
Yeah. actually
so
smart.
there we go. All right, let's go on the next one.
All right, let's move on. JR, what do you got
Okay,
for us?
So sorry. My character is the Wanderer. She's a lost soul, outcasted by society and forced into the void. She now wanders the void, searching for other lost souls to give purpose.
I love her hair.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I spent a lot of time going into this motion.
And I gotta know what's the like shards of glass around her? What is that?
Void energy.
Void energy.
I don't know if that gives it away, actually.
So is she like a sorceress?
No, not really.
I
no.
actually have no idea.
This is.
Oh, no.
This looks like something right out of.
No,
Like, the
if
worst
void
Resident
energy
Evil
is
game.
void, if void energy is like a key indicator,
It
then,
is. It's a key
Then what?
indicator.
It's the void game
Yeah.
where you go into the
I'll
void.
give, what is my favorite video game of all time? Does anybody
Uncharted.
know this?
Cyberpunk.
No, wait, no.
Tomb Raider?
The Quarry.
No.
The Quarry.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of times,
Void energy.
I guess
don't
I'll
know.
just say it is a character based off of the Outsider from Dishonored.
Oh.
The Void is a big part of the Dishonored franchise, and the Outsider died in the most recent issue, so I created a replacement character for that.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
All right. Well, guys, get ready for this because this is my amazing drawing. It's in color, so I think I already.
Gee, I wonder what this is.
I think that color gave it away.
Wait, bring it back over here.
I need to tell you
This is
about
Al's
it.
moment.
Nebraska?
Yeah. Okay. So,
I love Nebraska.
Okay, so this is Joshy Baker Deer. He has never known a day's rest in his life. Some things went down in Nebraska. He doesn't like to talk about it, but he's really good at baking. And he gained sentience by watching the Hunger Games movies. And he really, he found himself in PETA. So he decided to open a bakery.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing in life.
What's his favorite Hunger Games movie?
He likes the second one, Catching Fire.
The right choice, the right choice.
Even though that one doesn't have a lot of baking in it, which is kind of his thing.
There's baking in none of the movies, though. So like,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's bread in the first
there's bread.
one.
There is bread. Yeah.
All right.
Do these things actually happen to Baker Deer, or is this like his character-given backstory?
This is his character-given backstory. When you're playing the game, you're helping him run his bakery.
Okay,
Okay.
see, because I was immediately on
Okay.
the FNAF train.
I was gonna let you be on. The
I was
FNAF.
also
you know
gonna
me,
say that.
I'm the FNAF
Yeah,
train.
I love
Oh wait, it isn't FNAF.
Okay. Well, so
Cooking
I was about to
Mama.
say
No,
Cooking
no.
Mama.
okay.
Overcooked.
So.
Overcooked.
You know, that would have been good, but so yeah, my cousins Grayson and Hollister are very, very obsessed with Five Nights at Freddy's, and and I'm obsessed with Josh Hutcherson. So yes, it's based off of Five Nights at Freddy's and kind of the FNAF movie, as
Yeah, the
in
Nebraska.
Joshy and Nebraska and stuff like that.
But you made it not a horror game.
Yeah, it's just
Well,
a nice.
You just made it.
He's
you
tired.
You made FNAF.
He's tired enough
Yeah.
to kill people, you know.
No, it's a cozy game.
Yeah, FNAF, but cooking.
So like Ghibli.
Five Nights at
Five,
Joshy.
It's
Baker
Ghibli met.
Deer's-
It's if Ghibli met
Bakery,
FNAF.
Yeah.
That's essentially what this is.
All right, all right.
All right, next one. Let's
All right, so now mine is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but
Ooh.
his name is Lenny the Conqueror.
I wonder who that is. I think.
I think it's fairly obvious who it is. But essentially, here's a short bio. He is very selfish and bratty and hyperactive, and
He's just like me for real.
he's like kind of like you. And
No, because it's also on your face right now.
and all he wants to do is just kind of, live his life and be the king, kind of.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's a conqueror.
So
He's
it's
just been conquering all the kingdoms surrounding his village.
Is all his hair sticking up, or is that like a mohawk?
Yeah, no, all his hair is sticking up. It's
Okay.
like fiery. it's fiery blue, so it's like
Fiery-
super hot.
So he spends like every morning like perfecting it to
Yeah,
look like
he
blue
kind of puts
fire.
like gel up on his hair.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
does he like just
menacing.
does he just like give himself an electric shock to get that
Well, no,
just
he's
out
just
of the lab energy?
he's just super short, so he has to
He's
raise
just
his
like
hair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
make
just
some
like you,
guesses.
exactly.
Let's make some guesses.
Let me take a wild guess.
Lemmy.
Yeah, let's take a
Okay,
wild.
yeah,
This
take
might
a
be-
wild
This
guess.
might be Bowser Jr.
No, it's
Oh.
not.
It's Lemmy, right?
Is it Eggman?
Let me. Yeah.
Lemmy.
okay.
Let's
Let me-
go.
Okay. So
Like 8 of them in the little carts. It could have been.
Yeah, it could be.
I was thinking
All right.
We're
Sonic.
gonna have to name them all.
So
is it based
let's-
off Mario or Mario Kart?
This was actually this is based actually on Smash. Because he's
a
got like
twist.
he's got his like I don't know if you can see it in this picture, but this was like a boxing glove,
Oh, okay.
and the boxing glove in Smash.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to our last one.
All right, so Brando, I think our characters might be buddies.
Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
I told them I was bad at drawing. I want to make that clear.
No, honestly, it's better. than
This is.
Better than mine.
This
I
is
kind
Prince
of love him.
Yeah.
He is an illegitimate heir to the throne
Yeah.
after the ruler, who shall not be named,
Yeah.
to try and give it a hint of mystery, had an affair with one of her.
Oh my
little-
God.
Plumbers?
no.
I don't want to
friends.
call them slaves.
I would say plumbers.
Whoa,
but-
servants. Servants. Servants is a better word.
Visitors.
Yeah.
Friends. The queen and a servant.
Yeah.
I like the like foot for a hand right there.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, you're right.
Ethically
Not
made
everybody can draw
and
hands.
respected friend.
That's why I didn't draw
servant.
hands.
Yeah.
This is a servant,
drew A.
and he's a little bit evil. If you can, I don't know if you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, he's got really
He's got a
evil
little
eyes.
bit of murderous intent.
If you
He
colored
took
it-
over the throne.
He
So
gives.
like, are they buddies?
I don't see.
Are they in a relationship? These two?
I feel like
There might be some homoeroticism.
No,
I don't
no,
see like
Wow.
evil.
Okay.
I see
Like-
inbred.
Oh.
I do see that. I do see that. He does look like he's doesn't know what
I
he's
think
doing.
I think we all
It's
know.
not inbred.
I think we all know what this is from.
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yes.
You
Five
got
Nights
it.
at Freddy's.
Sonic. I was about to say Sonic. I just said it.
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
Toad.
All right. Well, I think it's about time to toss it over to our indie game passage with some games that are probably a lot more original than what we came up with here today. Heartbound, a non-traditional role-playing game by Pirate Software where you play as a boy handling emotional and mental conflict as he travels from world to world with his dog. A Highland Song, a dynamic adventure game by Inkle Ltd, where you run away to reach the sea crossing, the treacherous Scottish Highlands, empowering yourself with your song. Planet of Lana, a cinematic puzzle adventure game where you take control of a young girl and her small companion, making their way across a colorful world with hopes of restoring balance. Worldless, embark on an introspective journey about self-growth in this action platform by No Name Studios. Use the game's active and unique turn-based combat system to establish yourself and transcend. That's all for our indie game shoutout. Now back to the show. Welcome back to our original character segment. Now it's about time to determine whether these characters are inspired by or mere copies of their games, and to choose our favorite character along the way. So I think we want to start out. You want to start out the other direction?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Is there any hint of originality behind this little man?
The foot for the. I think the foot for the hand is the original.
Yeah.
Hand.
Yeah.
I think it's a good addition. Maybe it could be like, what if
Lore.
there's an evil Toad
Yeah.
sector?
You should.
Yeah, you should go to Nintendo
You
and
should
show
go to
them that.
Nintendo and say,
I'm
I've
sure-
got something for you.
Dude,
No.
Doug Bowser, he would love this.
I mean, Elle, you and I were just talking about off camera how the Mario games need a cheating subplot. So I think that
I know,
adds it
there's
a
not
lot.
enough scandals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
there's
too
no-
happy. I don't
They should.
condone religion.
That's why I'm going to the Nintendo Studios and I'm proposing the Real Housewives of Mario Land.
Mushroom Kingdom.
Mushroom Kingdom, yes. I have never played a Mario game, so I don't know where they live.
No.
But Real Housewives of Mushroom Kingdom coming this fall on ABC.
I would eat that up.
Yeah.
I would watch that. All right, so moving on to our next
He'd be there
Mario
too.
character. You know, I think it could be an addition. Like, Bowser has another child. Does he adopt these children or does he just have
Adoption.
He
I think.
adopts them.
He
Yeah.
adopts them,
You know
but Bowser Jr. is legitimately his son.
Oh.
It's like the Bat
Okay.
family,
You know, there
but
was like that
not.
Bowser's Fury DLC.
No,
with-
Damien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damien.
Oh,
Bowser
Damien
Jr.
Wayne.
Damien.
Damien.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that he could make a nice
Make an appearance.
another villain. You know, I think
It'd be like the inbred child of like Lenny and like Wendy.
maybe he's actually Bowser and Peach's son. He's the true
Oh my
son.
God, they're actually.
Peach is getting around.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. All right.
We love you, Peach.
But you know what I'm
You're my favorite character on the Real Housewives of Mushroom Kingdom.
I love Peach. We all love Peach.
Can we make that? Can that be
Yeah.
our next Emerson show? All right. What do we think of Joshy Baker, dear?
I hate how good this is and how much work you put
Yeah.
into this because I feel embarrassed about my own work.
I spent 30 seconds on this drawing. I'm not
I spent 30 minutes on this.
This
I
is
spent
this is very
31.
2 minutes on mine.
You know, I was
2 minutes on mine.
I was watching. What was I watching? The 100.
Oh,
And I was
fire.
coloring this. You know.
I love it, and it's very original because you inspired it based off a game, but then decided to take it out of the genre entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like, there's no competition that is a completely original masterpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I just need to
Yeah.
change him up a little
Yeah.
bit to look less Five Nights at Freddy's.
Right after,
Yeah, but,
right after
like,
I
I
go to the
think-
Nintendo headquarters, I'm going to the
Play
Louvre,
animatronic
and that's getting hung up.
Yeah.
I'm FNAF 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and,
exactly.
And he doesn't have like a dead child controlling him. He's just
Yeah.
gained sentience himself. So that kind of
Yeah,
separates
exactly.
him.
I feel like he'll come in like night 5 and just be like, "Would you like some bread?" And then he leaves.
He's just
the
a guy.
reward. It's the
He's like
reward for
Balloon
making it
Boy
through.
if you didn't hate Balloon Boy.
Yeah.
And he's also got a completely different backstory, so you can like just.
Yeah.
He's not
I'll fight
scary
you
at
on
all.
Balloon Boy.
No Matthew Lillard here.
Get off the box.
All right.
Oh, me. What do we think?
I think she's awesome.
I think she's
you.
cool.
I think this is my headcanon. She could be on RuPaul's.
Yes,
Oh my
Drag
God.
Race.
Yes.
Love Drag Race. Nymphia Wind.
They're going.
Sorry, I'm going off a tangent.
See, I think she could like have her own like indie game, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it necessarily has to be like, you know, like Dishonored.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like the Void game or something.
A game exclusively in the Void. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Just called Void.
Just called Void.
Void.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice.
just-
So yeah, I think it's like a sequel.
A
if anything.
sequel. Yes.
A sequel. Yeah, exactly.
All right, and now our final 90-degree switch.
I feel like there's absolutely no relation to Pokemon here.
Yeah.
So you might get away with
You
it.
might.
Yeah.
Yeah,
get
you
away
might.
with it.
I think you'll be
is
gotten.
nothing.
I think you'll get got on the How to Train Your Dragonness of it all, though.
No.
Yeah.
How I think it is that there's so many dragons as a whole are a very common concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can mess
I mean,
around with
people
it.
could claim like that's like Game of Thrones, so you could really
Yeah.
be anything.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm just saying that my character Z is essentially he's just a dragon tamer, but he doesn't need to catch them with Pokeballs. He can just talk to them because and actually never
Like How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I
So
think
he
Also, the dragon looks like a guy with a dragon
He
head.
tames the dragons,
How to
not the
Tame Your
dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah. How to Tame Your Dragon, coming to ABC this fall.
why ABC?
Because I just can't think of any TV.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks.
No, Disney Plus.
How to Train Your Dragon.
to tame-
alternate.
tame.
How to
Tame Your Dragon.
How to Tame Your Dragon, in no relation by Pixar.
And she's there too.
We'll say Pixar.
That's the
She's there
tamer.
too.
That's
She's
like
the
the
tamer.
love interest.
Wait, no. Universal. Illumination. How to Tame Your Dragon by Illumination.
And the minions are there.
yeah, it's a minion
We
movie.
love the minions.
a minion.
here.
But I'm not gonna lie, it does look like a guy with a dragon head.
That's
More so than a dragon.
That's just he's just some guy. That guy, no,
laugh.
that
it looks
guy's
like
just
some
guy.
guy's
Oh, I
riding
think this is on
another guy
Zekrom.
in like a costume.
I was
It looks
trying to
like
draw
Halloween.
Zekrom.
He's some guy.
It looks like Halloween.
You're not that guy.
was
You're
trying to
not
draw
him.
Zekrom.
Please, here.
You're not him.
No, you were not drawing Zekrom. That's nonsense.
Well,
He's
I was
not
trying
him.
to imitate.
Not
Zekrom.
an inch of Zekrom
Well-
to be found.
you know, I think we came up with some really great characters today, and I think they would all be great additions to what was it, the Real Housewives of
Mushroom
Kingdom. So yeah, catch all our characters on
She is not
the
Sasha.
Real. Oh wait, we didn't pick our favorite.
I picked my favorite.
I picked my favorite.
Okay, well, maybe we'll let the people watching decide their
Yeah.
favorite, because I mean, these are all just perfection. What?
But I mean, look,
Can't-
look. There's only one choice now, and it's mine. There's only one choice.
All right.
Fall off my not an invisible box.
Okay.
Oh,
You exposed yourself.
I guess
I wasn't gonna say anything.
I guess
Yeah, but nobody was
JR
gonna
has
say
watched solely because he has really long arms. Good job, JR.
Really?
I think that about wraps up our show today. Thank you so much for joining us for our first ever live episode, and we'll see you next time. Bye, gamers.